Good afternoon. My name is Jose Garza, and for the last 10 months, I have been running to be District Attorney of Travis County because right here in Travis County, our criminal justice system is broken. We have seen over the last several weeks, people pouring into the streets, people demanding reform in our criminal justice system. Because all over the country and all over the state and right here in Travis County, people see every day people being left behind by our criminal justice system, people left out of our criminal justice system, and people hurt both physically and emotionally by our criminal justice system. We are here today to say to everyone who has been out protesting and demanding a better way that you are not alone, and to make sure that the voices of victims and survivors of sexual assault continue to be heard in this moment as we reflect on, talk about, and plan for change. I am so grateful to be joined here today by several survivors of sexual assault who are going to be, some of whom will be speaking in just a bit. I'm grateful to be joined by Austin firefighters who have spoke out over the last several months to raise up the voices of survivors. And I'm also really grateful to be joined by members of LIUNA, of Education Austin, and of IBEW who are here to stand in solidarity with survivors and with firefighters. Thank you so much for being here. Bob, I'm really grateful that you are here with us, wherever it is that you are, as we do this virtually. And I would invite you to take the speaker's square on Zoom and just share some words with us.
Well, thank you, Jose. My name is Bob Nix, and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bob Nix. I'm president of the Austin Firefighters Association. And we are very honored to be able to endorse today Jose Garza for Travis County DA. The firefighters got involved in this in kind of a different way, and I think it's a little bit unique. Firefighters got involved the level we did, and Jose mentioned some of this. But we had one of our sister firefighters, Kelly Gall, secretly filmed in a fire station locker room by her supervisor. And Kelly captured the video, and there was a full confession from the person that did it. And yet there was no justice. DA Moore did not take this forward to prosecution. Instead, this individual, former supervisor Jim Baker, received deferred prosecution. He will never have this on his record if he just keeps his nose for a short period of time clean. So Kelly suffered what I call the second assault. She went to Margaret Moore and tried to receive justice and plead her case. Margaret Moore pounded her fist on the table, shamed our sister, and basically made her feel bad for wanting to receive the very justice that she deserved. And we knew that was wrong. We knew we had to do something to support our sister. So we showed up at the courthouse to support her, and we had 100 firefighters show up, and at least. And the remarkable thing, and the reason why we're supporting Jose today, is when we left the courtroom, there were a line of women waiting to shake our hands and thank us for supporting our sister. And they relayed to us the stories that they had where they were sexual assault survivors, and they received the same treatment from Margaret Moore. And that's when we knew we needed to act and do something about it. And we needed to make sure these voices are heard. We worked with several of the women you see on the screen. They're strong, great people, and their voices need to be heard. And I want to thank everybody here today and Jose for really leading these changes well before the current events we have today. You've been talking about criminal justice reform and social reform long before these current events. And if you want more of the same, then you know who to vote for. But if you want true reform that I think most people in society today are longing for, Jose Garza is the person you need to vote for. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you, Bob.
My name is Vanessa Schaefer. I am a member of the Austin Firefighters Association, and I am a firefighter here in Travis County. And I just wanted to echo what Bob said. We're a public safety entity. And when we found out that we were not the exception, but in fact the rule, we were getting basically the same treatment as any other survivor, which is no justice, very little compassion, very little attention. We decided that that was not something that we could unknow. That was not a bell that we could unring. To know that it wasn't a fluke in any way, we found unacceptable. I get on a fire truck once every 3 days and I provide medical care to people and I see victims of sexual assault. And it's very profoundly personal, profoundly lasting trauma that survivors experience. And when I look them in the eye and evaluate them medically, I now see what's laid before them. And if I have no confidence in the process that they'll be forced to participate in, I can't do that in good faith. I can't pretend that it might be okay for them, because under District Attorney Margaret Moore, it's not okay. And so that's part of the reason why we got involved. We had a mountain of evidence against James Baker. We knew exactly what our sister firefighter wanted to happen, and DA Moore refused. And we have a platform. That's what's incredible. We're a force. So what is any survivor hoping to accomplish by themselves, putting themselves through this emotional drudgery that will take a long time in the current system? I can't imagine facing that alone. And I genuinely hope that that we see a change. And it went from being a bit personal with District Attorney Margaret Moore to being, actually, I'm excited now for a different candidate. I don't just want Margaret Moore gone. I want Jose Garza to represent and to be our district attorney. We're a huge metropolitan city. We're a world-class caliber city, and we deserve to have a district attorney's office that is going to treat its citizens like they live there, like they are a part of this community that we really like to feel that we are in Austin. So as Bob alluded to, there's a lot going on right now. There are a lot of issues. And this one may not be the headline news right now, but it's still our issue. And the survivors still deserve our support. And the light still needs to be shined on this. And I think that we've tried it one way for long enough, and I'm ready and excited to try it a different way. And I'm excited to have District Attorney Jose Garza be the one to lead that. Thank you.
Vanessa, thank you so much. All of us can see reform just over the horizon. And we are as close as we are in part because the Austin Firefighter Association has put so much of their heart and soul and work into lifting up and elevating the stories of survivors. But we are also on the verge of reform and change. Most importantly, because survivors themselves have had the courage to tell their stories and to demand reform. And I am grateful to be joined this afternoon by a few of these amazing and brave women. And Kristen, I wonder if you would be able to join us and share some remarks this afternoon.
Absolutely, I would love to. I'd like to start off, first of all, by saying thank you to Vanessa and Bob. As a survivor myself, I'm going to echo what Vanessa said, that to go through something like that alone is borderline unbearable. The second traumatic experience of going through the justice system and going through not being believed and questioned and dismissed and devalued makes you feel like you are less than nothing. And to have your support echoes in the hearts of so many survivors who felt like they were nothing, who were treated as if they were nothing. Thank you for standing up, because especially during this time, we as a world know that silence is damaging, and that when we see an injustice, it's important to stand up and to fight it together. And you guys did that for your sister, but more so, you did that for our community and for over 7,000 women here in Austin that just needed you at that time. And they hear you and they thank you. So if I could speak on behalf of all those women, thank you so much. If I could share my experience, I was strangled and raped by an ex-boyfriend who stalked me for 3 months. I had enough evidence to obtain a 20-year protective order against him. But at the time, the district attorney's office didn't view me as a credible witness. I remember saying with tears streaming down my face and going through an entire box of tissue on her desk. And I said, well, should I just go stand outside with a sandwich board that says, do whatever you want to me, nobody will believe me anyway? And she said, don't be ridiculous. And I thought to myself, this isn't ridiculous. This is exactly what you're saying to me, that these experiences and this traumatic event that happened to me isn't worth fighting for. And I think that more than anything right now, accountability is necessary. We're putting our faith in a system that's meant to protect us. And if we're told that, well, I'm sorry this happened to you, but you're just not that credible. When I had broken in my eyes and bruises across my neck and my face, and my door kicked down, like all of these things I had solid proof of, and I just couldn't understand what made me not credible. What was it that made this not credible? Because I didn't actually videotape the rape. Like, what more could I have done? And I realized that there's nothing I could have done. And this is why we need a change. And I know firsthand that Jose is every fiber of his being involved in making this change. And we need him, just like the sister at your firehouse needed you guys, just like every survivor in Austin needs just one person to believe them.
Kristen, thank you so much. I am so sorry for everything you have gone through. You and your story are credible, and you are powerful, and you have a powerful voice, and I appreciate you sharing it with us. I'm also really, really grateful to introduce you to Marina Garrett, who has just been an incredible and fierce advocate for survivors and displayed an incredible amount of courage, telling her own story and lifting up the story of thousands more. So Marina, thank you for being here, and please share your story.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jose. And, thank you to everyone that's here in support of us today. I was violently raped by a stranger at the age of 19 while I was attending the University of Texas. My rape kit sat in the backlog for 2 years. I reported to the police and I got my rape kit within 24 hours. I did, exactly what a good victim is supposed to do. I did those things, and, I had to just deal with compounding trauma for 2 years as I waited for that kit to come back. They were able to find him. He was able to describe me. The only question was of consent. And, it was a very violent rape. And after those 2 years of waiting, my rape kit came back with no DNA, and Margaret Moore's office declined to prosecute my case because she said that there was no DNA, and so a jury would never believe me. And that led me to so much additional trauma. As you know, Bob described, I blamed myself for so long that I had done something wrong. You know, if I hadn't showered, if I hadn't used the restroom, if I had gone straight there right after it happened, then maybe there would have been evidence. You know, it was a lot that I went through, to the point that I dropped out of college. I had knots growing in my hair. I wasn't eating for days. I couldn't speak to my own mother. And a lot of that was because of what I went through with the district attorney's office, that I couldn't feel like I was worth anything anymore. I felt completely worthless, and like I brought this upon me. And it wasn't until I began to hear from other survivors in the community that I realized it wasn't my fault and there wasn't anything I could have done different, that Margaret Moore's office was always going to turn down my case, because she was essentially turning down every case. And, you know, the survivors and advocates in this community have been doing the work for a long time. And, you know, I do want to just say thank you to them, and for the bravery that they've all shown and the work that they've all put in, and just say how excited I am to have all of you here and the firefighters showing support for us. You know, it's been a long time that it's just felt like survivors and advocates talking to each other. And so I can't tell you how amazing it is to actually have people engaged with us and people supporting us, and, you know, people letting us know that they see and hear us and believe us and want change for survivors. And I can't thank Jose enough for what he's done and the support that he's shown. And, you know, I would be proud to have him as a district attorney. And so thank you.
Marina, thank you so much. I'm, again, just incredibly overwhelmed by your strength, and by the strength of so many women and survivors who have shared their stories, you know, over far too long. I am incredibly humbled and honored to have the support and endorsement of the Austin Firefighters Association. I am humbled to be here today with Marina and Kristen and Samantha and Hannah and Aaron and Neva. And I am inspired every day by the work that all of you have done to build a criminal justice system here in Travis County, where women are believed and survivors are treated with dignity and respect. I want you to know that this is your movement, and this is our moment. The injustice that survivors feel, the injustice that people of color feel, the injustice that working people feel, all flows from the same broken system. But what the survivors that are here have taught us, what the firefighters through their courage have taught us, is that it doesn't have to be this way, that we have the opportunity and the responsibility right now to continue to build a movement that centers working people, that centers women, that centers people of color, to completely reimagine our criminal justice system. And in just under a month, that is exactly what we're going to do. And I know that we would not be able to do it without all of you. And I'm just humbled and blown away by your support. And again, grateful to Education Austin, to LIUNA, and to IBEW to be here with us in solidarity and in strength with the Austin Firefighters Association and with survivors and advocates. For any press that may be on the line, please feel free to ask questions through the chat, or if you would prefer to do one-on-one interviews with anyone who spoke today, you can reach out to us directly to arrange that, either by phone or by video conference. I'm going to just give a minute or two to see if we see any questions pop up.
Jose, while we're waiting on questions,
Please.
can I make one last comment, please?
Yes, please do.
You know, the survivors are online right now. Thank the firefighters for what we did. And I got to tell you, we're blown away by your courage and what I've learned, and we've all learned, and you've made us a better organization, truly. what we learned is how hard it is to put yourself out. You guys are true heroes for doing what you've done. And we did very little compared to what you did. And I hope you're role models for all women to step forward and speak up. If you want to have your voices heard, we want to continue this fight. So please come and we'll help you any way we can. There's lots of great people that will. But I just really wanted to applaud you and tell you how much you've meant to us to work with you. It's been great.
Absolutely. We'll just give this a few more, maybe 30 more seconds. And then if not, we'll let everyone who is on the line know about any follow-up requests we get. Kristen, Marina, Samantha, Hannah, Aaron, Neva, thank you so much for being here and for all you do. Bob and Greg and Anna and Christine and Vanessa, thank you for your leadership. And Ken and Jeremy and Mike, it means a lot to us and to Lynn that you are here and standing in solidarity with all of us. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your afternoon, and we'll follow up with any follow-up we get.
Thank you, Jose.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks,
Thank you.
Jose.